Welcome, welcome, the boss ladies of wealth generators. I am super excited about this information we're going to be having here tonight. As you notice, our boss lady calls, our live, hangouts are just getting better and better and better. And I just love that we finally decided to take advantage of technology and utilize it to the best ability of being able to, really get a one-on-one view of how everybody's not only just thinking, speaking, but you get to be able to see their energy, their excitement, their enthusiasm. And I just love these YouTube Boss Lady events that we have every single Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I'm telling you, the women that we're getting on these calls, I mean, just have so much value that they're providing. So you definitely don't want to miss out on these. But because they are live, if you do miss out on them, because we got working moms, we got busy moms. I mean, I got the little ones running around in the corner right now as we speak. So you are always able to go back, replay, and watch the information that was given out here. So the only thing that you need to do is you need to go ahead and subscribe to the Boss Lady YouTube page, and definitely get plugged in and start sharing this information. The more we share, the more we grow, and the more people you're able to help with, whatever topic that's going to be, talked about. And I'm super excited about the topic that's going to be going on here today. This woman has definitely been an inspiration in my life. She actually inspired me to even set up this Boss Lady movement within this company. I had worked with her in a previous company, and we had worked together with the Boss Lady movement, and it started to grow. And then we, decided to shift our career in another venture with wealth generators. And, I went ahead and took the reins, started the Boss Lady movement within the company, and it has just been exploding. It's an honor for her to be right here beside me still, for the past few years, and is our VP for wealth generators in the Boss Lady Council. She is also part of the council for the company itself. So very, very excited to have her on the call here again. Again, Ms. Mancell has a lot of experience, not just in the industry, but in just in entrepreneurship, period. So ladies, if you do not have a pen and pad ready, then you're not going to be able to retain what this woman has to say today. Okay? She has, again, over a century worth of information to help you get to the point that you want to get to. And we just had a great conversation talking about how this business is 90% mindset, 10% skills. So I'm going to do a quick mic check, and I'm going to see if we got Ms. Robyn Mancell on the line here to go ahead and share this powerful information today.
Hello, Michelle.
Hello, hello, Robyn. I am so excited for you to accept our invitation for tonight, because I know you were super packed and super busy. I know you're traveling all over the place now. You just got back from Seattle. You're growing international businesses, and people just don't know what's about to come from you and your team right now. So I'm super excited. So I appreciate you taking time out of your day, your night, away from your business, your family, to share this information with us. So Robyn Mancell, you have the floor.
All right, my dear. Well, I just want to say thank you, and we all appreciate the work that you're doing, Michelle. You are doing an amazing job. You always are doing an amazing job, and you give so much of yourself, and we appreciate everything. And you already know, all you got to do is call me, and whatever I'm doing, it's like Michelle called, okay? So I gotta do it. So that's what I love about you. I love how much of a leader you are, and I also love how teachable and coachable you are. I love that. And I'm learning a lot from you too, young lady. So tonight, everybody, my name's Robyn Mancell. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, but the topic tonight I am so excited to talk to you guys about is authenticity and how you can maintain your voice. I think that's such an important thing. And I'm going to give you just a little brief history so you kind of understand where I'm coming from, where I've been, give you my story. So I worked in corporate America for over 15 years, and then I left. I was divorced, I had kids that I was raising on my own, and I needed to make more money. Not only did I need to make more money, I needed more freedom. And so I left corporate America because they were changing my hours. They didn't care that my kids were in daycare. They just said that, hey, these are your new hours. Either take it or leave it. This is what, this is what you're going to get. And so I decided at that moment I needed to do something different. So I actually left corporate America about 20 years ago. I tell people I can talk about it because I've been there. I know what it's like. I actually work there, so I know how that whole thing works. And then I got my Series 6 and 63 license. I became a 1099. I went into the workforce. I worked for a company out of Orange County, and I was the only female in that office of fellas, of the guys. And I ended up breaking every record in that office. Now, I'm going to tell you why I was able to do that, because I was actually working for the phone company. I used to answer the phone, customer service, work in the billing department. And the reason that a person can go from doing a pretty basic job to something where you have to pass an insurance test, you've got to pass your Series 6 and your 63 license. The reason that I was able to do that is because I really wanted to help people. It was something that I really wanted to do. I was very authentic about it. And I let people know that I was out there to make a difference. And that's what I was out doing. And it actually showed in the way that I did my work. And so did that for several years, kind of have been a serial entrepreneur. I've done a little bit of everything. I'm kind of one of those people that likes to, touch and feel it and kind of do what I can get my hands into. And I just like, life is kind of like a buffet, and I like that thing. So anyway, have had several businesses, have been very successful with those businesses, had some really good ones and had some that weren't so good. But in the midst of all of that, I actually got into the network marketing field in around, actually, I met Gerald Wilhite. You guys hear me talk about Gerald all the time. I met Gerald in prepaid legal. So that was actually kind of my first experience into the network marketing industry. Did okay in that, didn't get really too involved. Had an executive recruiting company, did real well with that. Had a restaurant with Gerald, did real well with that. And then he introduced me. We went to a company in around 2006. And here's another story about authenticity. Went into that company. I got really excited about the personal development side of the company. It wasn't so much, I don't know if I got really that excited about the product. I got excited about the personal development because I thought this was an opportunity for me to become a better person. And when you go through personal development, a lot of times what it does is it kind of can smooth some of those rough edges about you. And so I got really excited about that. When I did that, I started getting excited about the company, and I ended up being a top 20 income earner the first year in the company. I became the number 17 income earner in that company and did really well for quite a few years. Left the industry, then went back into the industry and built another team to about 100,000 people. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about tonight, that's just a little bit of my story, but what I want to talk to you about is authenticity. I want to give you guys permission, especially the ladies. I want to give you permission to be authentic. I want to give you permission to hold on to your voice. I want to give you permission to listen to what you hear going on inside and not necessarily what people are coming at you and telling you what you need to do. Because the thing about authenticity, it is what will attract people to you. It is that thing that a lot of times people can't even really describe it, but for you, when you do it, you don't even have to think about it. It's something that you do when you become very, very comfortable with the person that you are. You become very comfortable being who you are. You become very comfortable in every way. It's kind of like you've heard people talk about being in the zone or being in that flow. When you get into that zone and you believe and you stand in your trust, you will find that you can do just about anything. You can do anything that you put your mind to. And the reason why is because you know who you are and you stand in that and you're okay with that. Now, sometimes that can be difficult. That can be difficult in a business, not even just in our business, but even in corporate America, when you're working in a different field. A lot of times everybody's telling you that you need to be a certain way. You need to act a certain way. Sometimes it's what they call fake it till you make it. But that authenticity, when you can find your way back to being authentic, it is what is going to attract people to you, because people can tell. You know, there's I think it's an old wives' tale. They always say, you might have heard your parents say that babies and animals can tell authentic people. They can tell people who are real, who are genuine, who are honest. They can tell those type of people. And so is you got to make a decision, and you got to figure out who you are. Now, some people, it may be authentic to them being a certain way, but if it is, it's going to flow with them being that way. The problem is that a lot of times people can see right through it. And you don't want to put yourself in a situation where people can see right through who you are. So I have a task for everybody that's on this call. What you guys are going to want to do is you are going to want to take out a piece of paper. You don't have to take it out right now, but you do need to take out a piece of paper. And what you want to do is you want to write down who you are. You want to write down who are you and what are the things that you feel comfortable about. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm a very blunt person, and I feel very comfortable being that way. And you have to be very careful with that, because a lot of times people will try to put you into their box, what makes them feel comfortable. But if you're comfortable being a certain way and it's not offensive, that's just my opinion. If it's not offensive to other people, but it's more honest. A lot of people aren't used to honesty. They're not really used to that. They're not used to people telling them exactly how they feel about things, and even saying it in a nice way. Sometimes when we're saying it in certain ways, people just aren't used to it being said that way. So they get a little uncomfortable hearing people tell them things that normally they have, especially if they have a group of friends that are saying only the things that they want to hear. A lot of people like to hear the things that they want to hear. So they're not always comfortable when you're having a conversation with them that is authentically what you need to say to them. And a lot of times when you have conversations like that, those conversations can help the other person too. But we're so busy trying to be sometimes someone that we're not, or doing this thing they call fake it till you make it, that we sometimes forget who we are and what we actually stand for. So it's really important that you come to a decision that this is a person that you're going to be. That person that you're going to be even comes down to how you are going to dress, how you are going to speak when you're talking to people. And the thing about it is, if it's really who you are, it'll be very natural. I was talking to a young man earlier today. I told him, I said, hey, just make sure you get onto this call, because he was saying that he has some issues when he's out and he's talking to different people, and he feels like when he's following a script that he's doing fine because he has the script in front of him, but then going out into the real world, he's having some challenges with that. And here's the thing, and I told him, I said, look, just get on the call, because I'm going to talk about that. We're talking about authenticity. You got to put people in the slots. You got to be able to identify the people that you're talking to. You got to be able to say, okay, when you see that particular person, you know what that means. You got to be able to get familiar with certain personalities, and you've also got to get familiar with yourself. So the way that you do that is that you got to take apart the reasons and why you're in the business in the first place, and what are the things that actually speak to you. So you've got to look at what are the things that actually speak to me, because you don't want to sound rehearsed, because that's not authentic. You want to sound like you really put some time in, you are really learning the business, you understand it, and it's not going to necessarily sound like everybody else. You're going to pick out those things that speak to you, and those are the things that you're going to be able to say. So when you're out talking to somebody, you actually should be sizing them up. You should be sizing people up. You should be hearing, you should be listening more than you're actually talking. You want to kind of interview them and hear what it is that they have to say. But here's the thing about it. It should be authentic. I'm using that word a lot, but it should mean that you should be engaged in a conversation with someone that is not forced. It should not be a forced conversation. I'll give you another example. Sometimes, for some reason, we're getting a lot of telemarketing calls lately. I don't know what happened to the do not call list, but I get a lot of those calls. And it's very interesting. You can tell they are either reading a script or they're on some kind of a teleprompter. And I have actually had to tell people, I don't want to have a conversation with you if you are reading a script. Because what that means to people, when you're doing that, it means that you are judging me just like you are judging this other person. And most people want to feel special. They want to feel like the conversation that you're having with them is not the same conversation. It's not standard. It's not a boxed conversation, that you really are having the conversation with them because you care. And that's what people want to feel. They want to feel that you care. Now, if you don't, that might be authentic for you too. Maybe you just don't. There's no way that you can care about all things. But authenticity does start, it starts here. It starts with you. It starts with the things that you care about the most. And that is the authenticity that a lot of people are looking for in people. If you're finding that you're having a hard time getting people to engage with you or to get into business with you, it may be because the conversation feels forced. It feels like maybe you're trying to get something from them, but you're not really giving them anything, or maybe that you don't really care. And so when you become, when you're going down this journey, you're going to become vulnerable. You're going to become transparent. And more than anything, you're going to become honest. So there's some things, and not to say that you're not honest already, but you're going to be more open and honest about those things because you really have taken them in and they mean a lot to you. Now, and here's the other thing. No one can turn you into something that you're not. So basically, all of us that are here, we have the tools. We have what it needs in order to be successful in the business. But here's the other part. You want something that is going to sustain. You probably have heard stories where people say, you know, I thought this person was this way, and then 2-3 years down the road, you find out that's not even the person that you knew. That's not authenticity. That's someone that's been, we used to call it faking the funk. You know, it's like they're saying something, but they're pretending. It's not true. They're putting on a facade and pretending for whatever reason. That's what makes them comfortable. So what you want to do is you want to get to the point where this becomes a practice, where you practice thinking about what are the things that makes this exciting. When I was telling you that I was the only female when I was Series 6 and 63 licensed, the reason that I did so well is because I really thought I was going to go out and I was going to save communities. I thought I was going to give them information. They were going to be so excited to get this information. And I was really doing it from the heart because I knew that I was a fairly intelligent person. And if I didn't know this information, and I ran into other people that didn't know the information, then I felt like I was really giving them something of value. And that's the key to that. Most people that believe that they're giving somebody something of value, it's very easy for you to talk about that. You know, it's like if you went to a restaurant and the food was amazing, you wouldn't have to think about it. You wouldn't speak it like somebody that was writing a review. You would talk about it very passionately because you probably, if you had one of the best meals that you ever had, you'd have a real easy time talking about that. So that's what I want you to remember, what you're doing when you're having conversations with people. If you know what you are presenting to them and you put yourself in their shoes, which is a really good thing to do too. Why do you think that a person would be interested in what it is that we do? What are the reasons? What are the reasons for that? And I'm telling you that I really believe it starts, everything rises and falls, one on things like personal development, but they also rise and fall on how authentic you are, because people can tell. People can really tell, unless they're that kind of person and they're just used to hanging around everybody that's fake and phony, then most of the time people can tell if you have their best interests out for them. And there, you know, of course, there are going to be people that think this sounds too good to be true. And that's probably because they've been consumed by a lot of people who have not had their best interests. So all you have to do is to really just be yourself. That's it. I'm just a big proponent in any type of books. I got my books. I'm sitting here. This is one of my favorite books right here, if you guys can see this. It is the Fire Starters. I like to call myself a fire starter because you're about, you know, setting things on fire. It's a practical guide to having success on your terms. And having success on your terms is what is authentic to you. You have to be very careful, especially women. You know, there's probably, you know, guys on this call too, but I want to kind of talk to the women here. Especially for women, it can be very difficult trying to be authentic and maintain your voice in an industry where sometimes you're not always at the head of that. So it can be very difficult sometimes for people to be exactly who they are and feel comfortable with that without having people tell you, no, you should do it like this or you should do it this way. I remember when it was before 2009, I think that's when I first got on Facebook, 2009. And I remember this guy, I've never gone back to him, excuse me, and told him this, but he told me that I was doing my Facebook wrong. He said, you are doing it wrong. He said, you are not supposed to talk about what you do on your Facebook page. And he started giving me this whole list of rules. And I told him, I said, well, that's kind of interesting because I'm engaging with a lot of people and my business is growing and it's growing really rapidly and very well. And I do just the complete opposite of what you say. And ironically, I watched him leave the industry and I'm still in it. Because you have got to have that conversation with yourself. You've got to figure out what works for you. The other part of it is that you've got to realize that you're not in competition with other people. You're not in competition with anyone. What's the way someone else does their business and the way you do your business is completely up to you. And people will always have something to tell you about that. Now, if what they are telling you has value, but also has the proof to back it up, then I'm probably going to listen. If they're giving me some good, valuable, concrete information, I'm going to probably listen to that. But you have to decide, how does that feel to you? I think we get away from how does it feel? Does this feel okay? Does it feel like something that, you know, I'm comfortable with and it works for me? You really have to think about that. This is an opportunity for you to be selfish with yourself. But the good thing about it is that if you are really in tune to you and excuse me, and how things work for you, your business is going to be very successful because it's going to flow. It's going to be real easy for you to talk to people. It's not going to be strained. It's not going to be like you're trying to pretend, like you're trying to make up anything. I don't think anybody likes pretending anything. I even heard, I'm a big court TV person. I heard Judge Judy said, do you have a good memory? And the person said, no, I don't know, I think. And she said, well, you know what? If you tell the truth every time, you don't need a good memory. Because again, these are all things that have to do with authenticity and how authentic you are about what it is that you do and how you do your business is very, very important. So you want to get into a natural state of being, because here's the thing, being authentic is a choice. And you have a choice at how you do your business. You can decide the way you want to do it and how it works for you. But I just want to say to you, as you are doing this, just remember, you can stay out of the competitive edge, but you can also be very authentic to yourself. Start with you, put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and do business in the right way. Again, what is an integrity issue to one person may not be an integrity issue to someone else. And so you kind of have to decide what works for you. So again, I'm being authentic and telling you that you do have that choice. We have that choice in how it is that we want to do the business. Now, if you're looking for long-term business, typically people like to do business with people that they like and they trust. And so no one wants to do business with someone that they feel like that 1 minute you're saying one thing and then the next minute you're saying something else. So find a place, take out a notepad. I want you guys to do this. I want you to hit me up on my inbox, send me a message on Facebook, and let me know how that worked out. Pick 5 things about yourself that you are very comfortable with. These are things that you're very, very comfortable with. You can also put 5 things that you need to work on. But what I want you to do is I want you to outsource your weaknesses, and I want you to work in more strength with what you do well. Yeah, you're going to outsource that. but you're going to at least acknowledge it. And so you're going to know what that is and then go from there. So think about that. Think about how you can get into a natural state, because the world cannot resist an authentic person and a person who they feel very comfortable with to do business. So thank you guys for having me on the call tonight. I appreciate it. Hope that helps you guys, both my boss ladies and the guys that are on the call tonight.